If you're a serious hunter and you haven't tried Hex yet, this is the edge you're missing. Hunters have always talked about animals having a sixth sense, feeling you before they ever see you. Hex works by completely blocking your body's natural energy, helping you get closer without tipping them off. Most hunters don't believe it at first, until they hunt in it. And once they do, it makes them believers fast. Go to hexhunting.com, that's HECS hunting.com, and use code WAYPOINT to save $20 on a full Hex system. If you're a serious hunter and you haven't tried Hex yet, this is the edge you're missing. Hunters have always talked about animals having a sixth sense, feeling you before they ever see you. Hex works by completely blocking your body's natural energy, helping you get closer without tipping them off. Most hunters don't believe it at first, until they hunt in it. And once they do, it makes them believers fast. Go to hexhunting.com, that's HECS hunting.com, and use code WAYPOINT to save $20 on a full Hex system.
Howdy, folks, and welcome back to the Hunting Stories podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and we have a really fun episode for you today. Today, we're actually connecting with Dwayne Allen. If that name seems to ring a bell, it's because it's actually the father of someone who's been on the show before, Boston Allen. Dwayne came on to reality check some of Boston's stories, share some of his own, and man, I had a really good time. I hope you guys enjoy this episode as much as I did. I don't remember the last episode that I just laughed this hard. So, Dwayne, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really do appreciate it. Of course, using the form that I have in the show notes as well as on Instagram and things like that to connect with me. To you listeners, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to cut it off right there. Let's just jump into this thing. Hope you guys enjoy this. Now we'll let Dwayne tell you some of his stories. All right, Dwayne, welcome to the Hunting Stories podcast, sir. How are you?
I'm good today, man. Good.
Yeah, great. I'm so happy to have you here. You went on my form and filled it out, and I did not piece the puzzle pieces together to realize who you were. But you're the father of one of my favorite guests, little Boston Allen, who came on and told some amazing stories. So I'm super excited to have you here because one, we got to fact check your son's stories, see if it's all truth in there.
Love it. Yeah.
And then two, I'm sure you got plenty of great stories yourself, sir. So thank you so much for one, reaching out, and two, for coming on and being part of the podcast today.
Cool. Well, it's nice to meet you. Is it Michael or Mike? What?
I'm not going to yell at you either way, but I don't know if I've told this on the podcast before. My mom, when I was a little guy and had my friends come over, they'd call me Mike. And she'd be like, I named him Michael. I didn't name him Mike. And so I started telling my friends, I'm like, hey, if you're coming over, just call me Michael because my mom's going to yell at you. And so that stuck. So now I prefer Michael. I really don't care. But if you're going to ask, I go by Michael.
Perfect.
Well, let's start with this, Dwayne. I mean, beyond your relation to one of the best guests we've ever had, give us a little bit of information about yourself, where you're from, set the stage on how long you've been hunting, etc.
Cool. Yeah. So Canadian, born and raised in Alberta, and then moved to Saskatchewan when I was like 3 or 4.
Okay.
You're familiar with Saskatchewan? I think you said your wife's from here.
Yeah, she was born there, but she was younger than you when she left, so like 6 months old or something like that. So she's Texan, and at this point, I think she's been in Colorado longer than she was in Texas. But yeah, she's born there, and she has a lot of relatives from up in that neck of the woods.
Yeah. Cool. But she's got the DNA.
Yep, that's the truth. It's thick as maple syrup, that stuff.
That's right. Cool. Yeah, no, I grew up on the farm and hunted once or twice when I was 12. Don't remember. Suddenly, had awesome. It was like I shot a buck my first time out with my dad. It was an insane hunt. It was 350-yard shot through the neck. Didn't even know what I was doing. Anyway, beautiful. But my dad grew up, didn't have a dad, to teach him how to hunt.
Okay.
And so, no, it was maybe a couple winters and then hunting just disappeared. So I'm not sure, maybe.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So maybe my dad did start traveling with work and I started playing hockey and stuff, but, who knows, maybe I should have bugged him more to go back out or whatever. But, my relationship with him probably wasn't as strong when I hit those 14 and 15 years either. I was a bit of anyway, enough said.
Yeah, okay.
So then, like, you referenced my son Boston, which again, we could fact check his stories. I told him I'm not going anywhere near. He's a better storyteller than I'll ever be. So,
Yeah.
and I told him,
For his age, he's a fantastic storyteller, man. I really enjoyed chatting with him.
Yeah, it's funny listening to his podcast because I'm like, dude, some of your stories sound a bit unbelievable. And he's like, Dad, it's because I tell unbelievable stories. I'm like, okay, you.
That's a good answer. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry,
No.
we got off track there, but yeah, keep going.
Yeah. So, anyway, we spent some time in Africa. 2014, I took my 3 boys, my daughter, my wife, and I spent a year there working in an orphanage, and then kind of realized like it wasn't super sustainable. It was an amazing year. We learned a lot, lots of adventures, stuff like that. But ended up kind of like, have you ever heard of the term snowbird? Like, I suppose hunting works too. Yeah. So kind of use the idea of like we would go to Africa in the snow and then come back, and I'm a carpenter, build houses during kind of the spring, summer, fall, right? And yeah, so when we were in Africa that first time, we really started dealing with like the orphanages and stuff, and we started like realizing that like some cultures have validation or initiation, and they do it better than others. And so I started looking at my own family, and I'm like, man, I feel like an unfinished man myself. I realize like in myself, and that's not a slight on my dad. He did the best he could. He didn't have a dad either, right? But but just in looking, some cultures, you're like we're in Africa. One culture, it's so crazy. They tie these vines together, and the young boys have to jump out of this like 60-foot tree platform thing. And the key is if they jump timidly, the vines are at a certain length that they'll fall down and break their necks on the ground. But if they jump like with courage, they get out far enough that they'll reach the end of the vine, and then the pendulum swings them down. So they kind of bump their head along the ground as they scratch along. But
Okay.
they don't die, right? So they have to jump in order to get a wife and move on in their manhood journey. So we got back from Africa one year, and a fellow by the name of Richard, Boston referred to him. He had come to Africa, and we kind of introduced him to that world. And so when we got home, he was like, hey, what can I do for you? He lives in a town called Estevan, and there's lots of deer. So we're like, you hunt, right? And he's like, yeah. And we're like, teach us how to hunt. So that was when my boys were young, and so we all got our hunter safeties together, and we kind of pooled our money in. It was probably 95% mine, and we bought our first rifle. We didn't even know what to buy, right? Like, so we go into Cabela's now, I think it's Bass Pro Shop or whatever, and the guy behind the counter is like, okay, what are you doing? And we're just like, we just need a rifle. So he was an old kind of a farm bush hunt cowboy guy. So he convinces us to buy this like no scope lever action 30-30, right?
Okay. Yep.
So it's a great gun. That's all we've got. So we head to Richard's house that first kind of season of hunting, and he's got lots of guns, and so he kind of gives one to the boys that were with us were Boston and Tekoa, his older brother. He's got another one, but anyway.
Okay.
So Richard gives Tekoa a gun, gives Boston a gun, and then I've got this 30-30. And so, of course, the boys are, I think, 14, 12, and so jump into the first story.
Let's do it.
Okay. And if you got questions along the way, you let me know. I'll do the best to kind of fill in the holes in the blanks.
Yeah. No, please do. Let's dive into it. Go into the gritty details, and I'll, like I said, I'll try my best not to screw it up, and I'll ask silly questions when I come up with them.
Cool. Yeah. So we head down to Richard's house. He's got a friend with a connection. He's a farmer, like lots of grain and farms here. So he we drive down a couple hours and kind of spend the night at Richard's house, and then we plan to head out early. We're going another hour to a town called Oxbow.
Okay.
Of course, here there's really like no deer hotspots. There's big deer everywhere. I mean,
Good problem to have.
now getting them right, having our laws changed here a few years ago now. Like, we didn't used to need permission. You could hunt anywhere on foot.
Oh, really?
Yes, unless it was posted. But about 4 years ago, everything changed. And so now it's trespassing all the time. You absolutely need permission. So our hunting
That's
population...
interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So our hunting population has dropped off the map because you got to get out and meet people and, build connections and stuff. Anyway, so we had this farmer, and he's a neat guy's name's Luke. Anyway, he kind of is just going to give us a 40-minute, 30-minute tour to show us. He's got about 4,000 acres that we're going to hunt on kind of for the day. And so we head out, and, we've had our coffees from Richard's house. It's been an hour. We get out, we're about 30 seconds into the drive, and we're like, we got to pee.
Yeah.
So there's he pulls over into the first field. It's his, up to this like little bush. It's not super big. Maybe the size of a mini mall. You can kind of see through it, and you can see either end of it. And so we don't think anything. We've got our guns kind of slung over our shoulders, and our other guns are in our hand, taking a whiz, right? And all of a sudden, this guy driving the truck, he doesn't really like shout, but he like in a panicked voice, he's like, "There's a buck!" And like we're all like peeing, right? We're like, "What?" He's like, "There's a buck! Someone shoot the buck!" And like, no joke, probably 20 feet in front of the truck, 15 feet inside of this bush, a buck stands with a doe, and they're just staring at us. Well, we've got so now we're like trying to like zip
Try to
up.
put one weapon away for the other one.
Yeah, we're not even zipping up. We're getting like drops everywhere. Anyway, and so Boston, I'm like, grab the gun. Now he's 12, first time hunting, so this is a funny story because now Boston is the first one to shoot. Like,
Yeah.
he's on it. But that day he was like, well, and as he heads to him, like, okay, dude, I'm taking it. I grabbed the gun, but they had both run along this bush, but were heavy, like rutting. So we didn't get a shot right there. But what happens is as they kind of are in this bush, and so Tekoa and Richard kind of walk around the outside of this bush. Now, these deer are literally 50 feet inside this bush, kind of like hesitating.
Okay.
And then as they come up around the other sides, now we're on both sides of this kind of narrow strip of bush, the doe pops out and just like runs across on the other side. And so Tekoa, he's 14, and he's not a very good shot, actually.
Okay. All right.
This is Boston's
At 14 or still to this day?
No, to this day. Like
Okay.
if he has 30 seconds and he's trying to line up a shot, he can't hit nothing. But he's an instinctual shooter. So if it's bat out of the hell running and he has to shoot in less than a second, he can hit it. Like
interesting.
I think he overthinks. I don't know. But anyway, so we always tell him, just don't set up, just, use your instinct. But sure enough, like he's never shot none of us have like shot anything in this hunting journey that we're on. And, but this doe's running probably 90, maybe 100 yards in front, and she's ripping. And, just like he's been doing it his whole life, just pops his safety off, lifts it up, boom. It's just a kill shot. Just smokes this.
No way.
Yeah. So
that's crazy. That's a crazy shot.
I know. He's squealing. Like, we're like, what? But But we can now see this buck silhouette watching this doe. She goes down. We can't see that. But as this buck's standing, we're on the other side. So Boston and I are kind of creeping. In all fairness, I probably should have given him another chance. But at that point, like I've already got my whiz on the gun anyway, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So it's about a 75-yard shot. I'm not a great shot either, but this is an iron sight. But I line it up and boom, and we smoke that buck right through he's standing like almost the opposite of a frontal, but
okay, just looking away,
just looking dead. But so the only place I can shoot him is in the neck, and I don't want to shoot the horn.
Okay.
So we hit him right in the haunches, and he drops, and man, it was just...
That's amazing.
It was awesome. Yeah.
And then everyone put their peckers away, and that's how the story ends.
Zip up our pants, get some rubbing alcohol. Oh, wait, this is pre-COVID. There wasn't none of that. Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny. So when you shot that deer in the back, did that just spine it, and did it drop, and did you need to put another round into it?
Absolutely, yes.
Or did that kill it?
No, spined it. It dropped, and then we came up to it. And it was still alive. And so that was an interesting kind of moment, too, because Boston's with me.
Okay.
Takoa's actually gone over to his doe. And it was one of those moments where, are we going to be able to do this? Because it's cold. There's snow. And this deer is breathing heavy. You can actually see it's breathing out of, I don't know how it happened, but there's windpipe, there's just, or maybe it was steam, but just breathing out of just
out of the wound
steam.
Or something. Yeah.
And so so Boston and I walk up, and we just put him right double lung, just as clean as we can, and then we just watch him as he exits, right? And it was a sacred moment, and it didn't. I was wondering what it would do to my heart, Boston's, but man, we both loved it. And then ran out. That
was going to be my next question. Yeah, I'm especially a 12-year-old little boy having to kind of, for lack of a better term, execute that deer on the first go round. That's heavy stuff. So that's interesting.
Yeah, no, handled it like a champ. And we had saw suffering. We had in Africa, not to bring it up, but I had a baby die in my arms, right? So,
oof. Yeah, that's heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had to deal with some heavy stuff. And so in some ways, this is not even the same level. But run out. Now here, the next piece, we're like, Richard, what the hell are we going to do? We don't know what we're doing. I grew up on the farm, and we slaughtered pigs, but I don't remember shit. And I left the farm at 17, never been back, right? So Richard kind of walks us through it, but literally I've got cool photos. I actually looking at them sidetracked. So we started making these photo books, right? So we do one.
Yeah, my wife makes those too. It must be a Saskatchewan thing.
Maybe. We do one per year. And in this book, of course, we got pictures of all the kids in their hunts. So going through it. And then the kids, if they want, they don't have to. I do it sometimes, but we write out the story, right? So they get to read the story.
I love that.
See the picture. Anyway, but I'm just looking today at Takoa, and dude is more red than white. He is so covered in blood, and he's got the heart, and he's got a chunk of it in his mouth, and he's got a missing, an apple, it's got a bite out of the heart. I'm like, dude, you are disgusting.
Wow. So did he just do that on his own? I know a lot of times, the elders will make the younger, newer hunters do that kind of stuff, take a bite out of a raw heart or liver or something like that.
Well, there was a joke about it.
Did he just do it himself?
Yes, there was a joke about someone's gotta eat the heart. But he literally was I'm on that. That is me.
Yeah.
Took it and boom. And now it was awesome. Anyway.
That's so cool. So I know obviously Boston, huge hunter, loves it. Is his brother as passionate as the two of you are?
I would say yes, but he's got other passions. Like, he's actually a cowboy. He rides pasture. That's what he does. He's 21, almost to be 22 this year. And,
Okay.
He's got, the big diesel truck, and he's got 4 horses
Okay.
and a bunch of cows, and he just he eats, breathes, sleeps ranching. That's his deal. So he hunts, but it's second. Whereas Boston,
Okay.
Boston loves
that's
hunting.
number one for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then I got to ask. You said there's 3 boys, right? The other one older, younger. Where's
So the
he
other
fall
one's
into the
older.
hunting matrix?
So in some ways, kind of got. He had his license already. Like, kind of almost missed the validation piece in terms of hunting. Now, he has since hunted with us. He made a really nice shot on a deer, and it would have been his first deer. But unfortunately, that law had come in, and this guy refused to let us on his property. We could not recover the deer.
Oh, no. That's tough. That's tough for the first go. Yeah.
Brutal. And I think it affected him too. Anyway, he's willing to give it another shot. But again, he's a musician, youth pastor guy.
Okay.
So his passions are hunting is a priority, but it's like number, 12 on the list.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny. Okay. Well, cool. I just wanted to know. I was just curious. And then you have a daughter. Is she also in the whole cycle of things here? Yeah.
So my daughter, I can tell you her story, her first hunting story. It actually happened on year 3. So that's okay. We'll fast forward. She, of course, watching what's going on with the boys and stuff like that. So she's like, yeah, I'll give that a shot. She's like a really brave girl.
Yeah.
And so for her birthday that year, we got her a 270, which in hindsight, it was probably the wrong gun to get her because
a little too much for how old she would be.
Yeah, they kick, right? Okay. So she actually uses I have a 6.5 Creedmoor now that she absolutely loves.
Okay.
But she's a left dominant eye, so she shoots left.
Okay.
So her gun's left. But anyway, she's a really good shot. She only needs one.
Okay.
The opposite of Toccoa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
Yeah, so we go with her first hunt. It's kind of just her and Dad. Actually, her mom was with us because we were heading out to Richards again. And we're like, hey, let's try this thing on our own before we get to Richards on the way out. So we're heading out there. And again, this happened before this law changed. So as we're driving out there, we happen to see a doe. She doesn't care, doe, buck. She just wants to shoot something. She hasn't been drawn for anything, so we have an open season whitetail either sex tag.
Okay.
And then we have a draw mule deer season, which typically is either sex, depending on the population. They'll go bucks only, but whatever. So we're driving down the road, and completely different. With the boys and us, it's like everybody's got their their binos on their chest, their windages, right? Like everybody's just like got their clip in their hand, like everybody's looking for deer. So we're driving out there, and we see a good opportunity on a doe. And so I'm like, hey, there's a doe. Like, are you okay? Do you want to try? She's nice and big. And so Sarah's like, yeah, for sure. So we kind of pull around this spot, stop on the side of this road, and I'm like, hey, let's hop out and get a shot. She's like, hop out? She's like, I don't have any shoes on. I'm like, what? You don't have any shoes on?
You're like, so what? I did this with my pants off. You need shoes.
Except there's like a foot of snow now, right? I'm like, she's like, I don't even have my socks on. I'm like, what are you doing hunting in bare feet in the winter, right? Like, but we had actually turned on like Spotify, and like we had like Disney tunes just blaring because that's her jam, right? They're just doing sing-alongs the whole time now, right? Like, and so
just Frozen soundtrack, Let It Be, all that stuff. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So thankfully, my wife gives me the old like, be careful look. As your kids get older, you'll get that look like when you're about to like, cross a line and maybe hurt them a little bit. So she gives me that like, be careful look. So I'm like, hey, that's cool. We didn't want that doe anyway. So back in the truck, turn on the tunes, keep going, and kind of give her the pep talk, like, okay, well, let's keep our shoes on and like, let's be ready and all this. But sure enough, 40 minutes later, like we're on our way. Another opportunity comes where two does are just kind of grazing in a spot where we can shoot. And she's so funny. Like, she just like, I'm like, are you ready? She's like, yeah, I think I'm ready. So she like hops out of the truck, like casual. No, like the rest of us just are jacked. Like we are like, our hearts are pounding, right? Like we're shaking.
Yeah.
She's just like, no, it's like, just takes her time, loads the gun, puts it in, sits. She's like, yeah, I'm just going to wait till it's perfect. Like perfectly broadside. I'm like,
I was going to say, this sounds so much like my daughter until that. My daughter is a little ball of chaos. She would not wait for it to be perfect. But otherwise...
I'm like,
I'll keep going.
I'm like, Selah, her name's Selah. I'm like, shoot the deer, like just shoot. And she's just like, I think the other one's actually the one I want to take. I'm like, they're does. I mean, just shoot one of them. So anyway, so she changes does and then locks on, and she rips it and smokes it. And we step it out. It's about 180 plus yards. Her very first shot, like.
Wow.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Was it freehand, or did she have a nice rest? Or
no, she just went off the box of the truck. So I mean,
okay.
Yeah, no, she did awesome. And then now her story over the last number of years is she hits a doe every year. But this last year, she's refusing now. She only wants a buck. If we needed the meat, of course, I think she would shoot a doe. But we have enough deer coming through our garage. I think we average around 10 to 12 deer every year. So,
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, we give a lot of meat away.
It's a good problem. Once again, a good problem to have.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. Okay, so I made you skip forward, I think, in your storyline here.
Yeah.
So let's jump back. You just keep going. Keep filling in the gaps. This
Perfect.
is fun.
Well, I want to jump back into our first year hunting. That same day that we shot those deer, or maybe it was the next, I can't remember. Anyway, we were out, and now Toccoa doesn't have a tag, and I don't have a tag, so it's just Boston. And I think Richard might have one, but he's waiting for a monster because he's shot lots of deer. But anyway, as Toccoa and I are kind of pushing this one piece of bush, this is a crazy, crazy situation. He ends up stumbling on the dead body of oh man, what's the name of the eagle? Bald eagle.
Okay.
Yeah.
My good, that's crazy. He ran into a dead eagle.
And it was still fresh. Like it was like, I wouldn't say warm, but it like wasn't touched. It was just like it had died that morning. And yeah.
Did he inspect it? Was it like, did someone shoot it?
Yeah, it wasn't frozen or anything. Like, we don't know. So, well, actually, we do know. So what we did is he called us, right? Like, eventually we got back there, went over there, and we phoned the CO. We're like, there's an eagle here. So this eagle, we measured it. We have pictures in our book. It's beautiful.
I bet.
It's 7 foot wingspan. 7.
Wow.
So 7 feet. Like, it was huge. And so anyway, so what they did is we had to pay like, I think it was $10 or $15 for a permit, and then the game warden took the eagle. They X-rayed it to make sure it wasn't like shot for poaching or I don't know.
Yeah.
And so once they X-rayed it and it was clear, then they gave it back to us. And,
that's cool. Well, then what did you guys do?
Well, we should have mounted it. Like, we didn't really know how rare and cool this was. Like, so anyway, I'm
surprised they gave it back to you. I feel like in the States, man, you call in anything, you're not getting it back ever.
Yeah.
If anything else, they're like taking all the cool parts and then just giving you meat, which I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to eat a bald eagle. That doesn't sound too appetizing, but maybe that's the patriot in me. I don't know.
Yeah, well, crazy. So anyway, so we didn't really realize that. Had we known, we would have, and I mean, we weren't as well off as we are today. Like, we looked into it. It was 850 Canadian dollars to do a mount. We should have done that, but
yeah.
Because it was perfect. But anyway, in the end, we took all the like nice feathers, we took its claws and we boiled its skull, so we have its beak. Right?
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
It is cool. Yeah. So I mean, that was a pretty cool experience in our first year of hunting. And then Boston, he never did harvest one that first year, so he had a rough kind of year in terms of like, 12 turning 13.
Yep.
Just didn't do it, couldn't get it done. So lots of questions around, can I get it done, right? So
becoming a teenager.
That's right, becoming a man. So I don't know, like I've got lots of stories we can move into bow hunting and stuff, or we can jump into year 2.
Your call. I'm gonna let you take the reins, Dwayne. I'm having fun.
Okay, well let's just jump into year 2.
Okay.
So year 2, now we're kind of like figured out how to get into some draws, and so we're heading back to Richard's. It's the same dude, so it's me, Richard, Toccoa, and Boston. But this time, Toccoa has 2 tags because he got drawn for a mule deer doe. And then, of course, we have our whitetail, either sex. And Boston also has 2 tags. He's drawn for a mule deer doe as well. And then I've got one, Richard's got one, and then Richard's son Caleb's with us. Anyway, so 5 of us in the truck, 5 guns, and we're heading out to Richard's. Well, day 1, we have just an evening, and Toccoa actually, he gets his mule deer doe that evening, so that was cool. And then the next day, we're heading out, same thing, kind of heading towards this oxbow area where we had the year before. And literally, like, there's supposed to be a ton of deer, but by 9 a.m., we haven't seen 1 deer. We've seen about 12 moose.
Okay.
Not 1 deer. And so I think it was just bad luck. But anyway, so, we're kind of like, what's going on? Like, was it a really bad winter last year? But the guy who lives there is like, no, there's deer around. So, and sure enough, we kind of turn around this corner and driving along this field, and there's like a windrow. It's like a kind of a tree break.
Okay.
So
got it.
Some trees. There's maybe like not thick enough to hardly even like call it a bush. You can see through it, but not great. And so as we round
just a little something, stop snow, stop whatever that might be blowing through.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. So as we round this corner, someone looks over and is like, I think those are 2 bucks. And sure enough, we look through this windrow and 2 bucks are just like going at it, like fighting. One of them's a really nice buck. Like, they're both decent. One's a 5x5, one's a 4x4, and they're both just like, man, I don't know, jacked, and they're going at it. And so we're like, what do we do? And so Richard driving the truck, and he like rips around this corner and like screeches in this field. We're about 170 yards, it's about 70 yards up to this tree break, and the deer like just scrapping 100 yards back behind. And so all 5 of us, have our guns. We're all like trying to I'm trying to I'm like organizing people. I'm like, okay, let's all be respectful. I'm like, it's like, no, everybody's just gone. Nope. Like, they're getting there first and they're shooting at this big buck, right? So we all kind of arrive at this bush like almost at the same time, and just like a firing line, hey? Like, everybody's like finding a tree. Toccoa's, he's standing freehand. Anyway, and so then I'm like, okay, you guys, on the count of 3. That's me. I'm like, 1, boom, 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 it's like nobody waits. In the chaos, right? Like, somehow Toccoa moved too far ahead. No, maybe it was too far behind. Anyway, he shot and was right, like his muzzle was right next to Richard's ear, like maybe a foot away. Like, it wasn't in danger, but all of a sudden Richard just starts screaming and hits the ground because he thinks he's deaf. Like, he can't hear a thing. Like, we're like, did you just shoot Richard? And both of these bucks were hit, right? Like,
Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
Hey hunters, have you ever had one of those stories, the ones that you didn't want to tell, the ones that end in failure? Yeah, I've been there. Actually, you know what? The culprit for me usually is bad optics, or worse, lack of using my optics at all. Picture this. I spot a trophy buck, or an antelope, or an elk, whatever it may be. My heart is racing, but the blurry view, or I just can't quite identify exactly what I'm looking at, it has me second guessing. Well, that's where Vortex Optics comes in. With crystal clear glass and rugged durability, Vortex gives you the confidence to take the shot. Don't let poor optics ruin your story. Make every moment count. Upgrade to Vortex and turn your hunting tales into triumphs. Visit vortexoptics.com today.
So now we're like, forget about the bucks. Richard just got shot. Richard's screaming on
Richard's
the ground.
Dead, man.
So then when we realized Richard isn't bleeding, like he literally just like can't hear anything, like our focus goes back to the bucks. And sure enough, like the big buck runs off and the little buck is running the other way. Like both bucks are still running. I'm like, 5 of us, nobody shot these bucks. Anyway, they were both hit.
Okay.
They were
This
both
is a great story.
They were both hit. And so
Right.
then as we get up, I load and I shoot the small buck, and then it takes about 3 minutes for Richard to get his shit together and stand up, and like he was really in pain. I felt so bad for him. Takoa felt
I believe it.
Anyway, eventually we're like, this big buck is gone. So we kind of like make our way out, and there's another bush like across. And thankfully, Caleb ends up seeing this deer run, and he shoots it. And so it goes down. And so as we kind of are telling the story, we kind of realize that like all 4 of those guys like aimed at the big buck, and he had like it had like 5 holes in it, like
Okay. Yeah.
because we were only 100 yards and everybody but me had a scope, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, and the small buck was the one I shot at. Thankfully, I missed it, but then I hit it. Anyway, so there was no debate on the smaller. It was still a decent buck, like a 120, which is not huge, but like my biggest buck to point. But it wasn't the one before. Anyway, so, but then the debate came. Of course, we had the whole dilemma of like whose deer is this big buck, right? Because Boston.
Yeah, I think it might be Richard's because he lost his eardrum in the whole thing.
Exactly. Well, and our boys like. Boston hasn't shot a deer yet.
Yep.
Takoa hasn't shot a buck yet. And so they're both like, it was my bullet. Well,
Yeah, and then Caleb actually put it down, right? So
Sure.
everybody's got a little bit of...
well, and so in the end, that's it. It was Caleb's buck, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but it didn't, it took us a while because Richard tagged it, which, anyway, because it was just all.
And how big was that one? I know you said it was the big buck. How big was that one, do you think?
Oh, probably 135, 140.
Okay.
So not
That's
giant,
a good buck.
but
Yeah, it's still a good buck, though.
yeah, but bigger than like the biggest buck we'd ever seen at that point.
Yeah.
Like anyway. So Richard ends up tagging it, but in the end we kind of had a powwow, and Caleb got to keep, because we Euro mount our bucks, right? And
Okay.
Boston just does it on our kitchen stove. It's great. My wife loves it.
I believe that. Oh,
Actually,
man.
when he
That's
first
funny.
started, he never took the eyeballs or the brains or anything out. and he wouldn't even turn the fan on. Like, our salt above the stove would just be stuck together with disgusting deer water. Like, it was just gross.
Oh, gross.
Oh, it's bad. So
Hopefully he's gotten better. Maybe for Christmas, get that guy like an outdoor one so he can take it out of the house.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, our goal is eventually to shoot a buck that doesn't fit under our damn range hood, right? Well, actually, Boston got one this year. I'm not going to spoil it for him, though. He got a giant.
Did he?
Oh, my goodness. He's going to win some prizes. It is a monster. Anyway.
That's awesome.
No spoilers. That's a story he'll have to tell you. But
deal.
It's a deer of 10 lifetimes. Anyway. Cool. Anyway, so, okay, so this is our second year hunting. So now Tekoa's got one of his does day before. Now we've got 2 bucks back in the truck. Of course, in the truck today are two deer. Within about 15 minutes, we find a spot where we kind of split up in Tekoa. Now, Tekoa, you got to remember, he's got a whitetail left. Boston has a whitetail and a mule deer. And so we're still learning how to tell, like, which one's which. And, like, you know, once you've been hunting a while, it gets easy. But in the beginning. So Tekoa and I are walking through this bush. And he ends up looking and seeing a deer. And all he can see is its face. Right?
Okay, he's close.
Well, it's not even that close. It's maybe about 80 yards, but all he can see is his face, and he doesn't say anything. He just, again, instinctual, just lifts it up, boom, and just shoots, just lifts the whole skull cap off of this deer. Like, this deer, like, is gone from the forehead up, right? It doesn't even have ears left, right? Like,
yeah.
Anyway, but we get there. It's a mule deer.
Oh, no.
So
he had a whitetail tag.
He's only got a whitetail tag. So now we do it as best we can. Like, we didn't call, hopefully no COs are watching this. This is probably past the statute of limitations anyway. But anyway.
This happened in Mongolia, too. It's nowhere with jurisdiction.
But the funny thing is, of course, we break the news to Boston. We're like, Boston, you got to put your mule deer tag on Tekoa's deer. He's like, no, I don't. Because we're not going to put a whitetail tag on a mule deer. That, like, then that is wrong, right?
Yeah.
So in the end, Boston, like, reluctantly tags Tekoa's doe. Now, of course, shooting a whitetail is a lot harder than a mule deer where we are. They're way more curious. They wait way longer. And so Boston's devastated because he doesn't have a doe yet. Or like a deer, right? He doesn't even have a deer. So he's like, 0. I got to put my easy tag now on Tekoa's deer. Now all I got's like a whitetail. And actually we were like, okay, Tekoa, now you got to let Boston shoot your whitetail. So Boston, not that Boston wants to shoot too, just whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, we clean it, put it in the truck. So now we got 2 bucks and a doe. And so
and a mule deer.
Yeah. But in the truck, got two bucks and a doe. Okay, so back of the truck's looking pretty good. Now we head out, it's noon, heading back, eat some snacks in the truck, heading back. Well, Caleb sees a buck, probably 375, running through this slough. And he's also just a real farm guy and instinctual. He's like, I want it. So we're like, okay, I'm driving. At this point, stop the truck. This is like 2 seconds. He's like out, bang, on the hood, bang, shoot, bang. The buck's down. Like it was precision and a far shot. Yeah. I'm like, dude, you've done this more than once for sure, right? Like this, he's probably 18 at the time, and it's definitely not his first rodeo. Anyway, so we clean it, throw it in the truck. Boston's still like, I don't have a deer, right? Like he's 13. He feels like his dick is way too small at this point. We've all had that feeling, right?
Yeah, especially right around that same age.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so we head home. Everybody's tired. Boston's kind of like, just like, this sucks. I'm never going to shoot a deer, whatever. But anyway, sure enough, as we're coming home, we got a little bit of light left. We see whitetail doe kind of on a bush. It's not an easy shot. It's about 180. Anyway, Boston kind of like gets himself out of the truck, gets settled. His heart's just pumping. And like everybody's cheering for Boston because like we're like, man, he needs this. We're praying, right? Like, God help him hit this buck. Sure enough, he shoots. I think it was about 170 yards. He shoots this. He's got 2 tags, remember? He shoots this doe and she goes down. Boom. Well, Boston, he throws the gun at me and he just starts dancing in circles, like shouting, like. But as he does this, the buck stands up because it's like they're running. And I'm like, Boston, he's like, he's gone. He's running. He's so happy. Like, he's just like, we can't get him back. So I just shot the buck. Because we were going home anyway. It was the end of the hunt. So anyway, so we field dress those, throw them in the truck. 6 deer in the back of the truck in one day. It was crazy. Like,
that is crazy.
It was awesome. And you're probably thinking, like, I'm looking at my note here, like, Boston told the story. If your listeners, remember, it was the 4 elk day, right?
Yeah.
And that's a true story. Like, it sounds made up, but I was there. I shot one of those elk. They're hanging on my wall. In fact, the mount is really cool. We got them stacked. They're Euro mounts. Anyway, okay. I'll have to send you a picture. It's really cool. But
yeah, please do. Please do.
Cool. Anyway,
that's crazy. That's a fun day. I'm surprised that Richard stuck around all day or after Tacoma blowing his ears out.
Well, it was funny because as the day went by, he got more and more hearing. Like, he just was in his own world half the day. Like, he just couldn't hear a thing.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so dangerous and funny. We've all taken a shot where I had a round go off too close to us and your ears ring, but man, a foot away. Whew.
Yeah.
I've had. I mean, I'm sure you've heard at least twice on this podcast. Have had somebody's father use their son as a rest for their rifle. so it could have been worse, I guess.
Okay. Well, we have done that, but it's been the opposite. It's always my kids shooting off my shoulder with my ear plugged. In fact, one time I won't say which one, but I told the kid, I'm like, you got to tell me when you're about to pull the trigger. And they're like, oh yeah, for bang! I also was deaf for like half a day. Anyway.
And that's why you switched to archery.
Yeah. I don't think we're not going to get there today. I would love to tell you our archery journey, but I got one more story for you. Take 10 minutes. Can we fit it in?
Absolutely. Anything for you, buddy. Let's do it.
Okay, so this is still in our second year hunting. And this one is just Richard and I. So we ended up putting in for a special tag. It was like kind of like a call tag, but so you could use your draw status. We don't have points, we have a status. And so as you put in, you go from D, you start D, C, B, A, and then you get in Super A, and then Legacy eventually once you're in Super A long enough, right? And then depending on how many tags in which zone, then the odds go up or down or however that works. Anyway, long story short, we decide we really want the meat. So we use, I think I'm in status it's our third year. It's a second year hunting, but we had put in for tags the year before just to begin the journey. So I'm now in like status B and Richard's in B, or maybe he's in A, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So we both put in for this tag, and it's a antlerless elk tag in this zone that's got like a problem with elk. And so what they do is they give you like a double tag, right? If you get drawn, but it has to be antlerless. And so there's a few different seasons that you can hunt, but this area is called Moose Mountain, and it's very swampy, right? And so if you shoot something in there, it's very hard to get out. If you're shooting.
Yeah, I can picture it, especially being called Moose Mountain. It's like moose hang out in those swampy areas.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And there's lots of moose in there, but there's even more elk. Like the elk actually live on the band where the grain and the park meet. Like a 5-mile band. They kind of eat in the night or, go back and sleep in the day. Anyway, so Richard, he's the guy with the quad and all the experience and all the know-how. Like, I don't even know how to read a compass. Like, I'd be lost and hopeless. Like, I'm getting better.
Yeah.
But he's also a pilot. He's actually Boston's pilot instructor, right? So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, not that we ever fly and hunt. Never do that.
Okay.
Some people just assume,
I feel like we got a whole nother story, but we'll talk about that one later.
No, we're very careful. We follow all the rules. Anyway, so we decide to do this hunt. It's in January. So Saskatchewan weather in January.
If we knew more about our sleep, what would we do differently? Would we go to bed at a consistent time or take steps to reduce interruptions to our sleep? With Sleep Score, Apple Watch measures your bedtime consistency, interruptions, and sleep duration. Then, every morning it combines these factors into an easy-to-understand score from 1 to 100. So you'll know how to take the quality of your sleep from okay to very high. Know your sleep score with Apple Watch. iPhone 11 or later required.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Tap the banner to learn more and get a quote at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
It can be incredibly cold. Of course, we use Celsius here. I don't really know how it translates, but like it can be minus 25, minus 30 degrees Celsius, right? Like it is cold. Anyway, so we go out and we've got about 3 days to do this hunt. Now, in January in Saskatchewan, what happens is all the elk gather into herds. So where, normally there's like, elk, kind of distributed in different groups. But these herds get up to 150, 200 elk. And so when they're deep in the park, there's no roads or nothing. So you literally have to walk, you have to hike. If there's a fresh snow, you can see where they came out, you can go after them, right? So that's what Richard and I were doing. Again, just you need permission. So that's the tricky part, right? So we end up 2 days, don't see anything, right? Just like feeling super discouraged. Yep. You're hiking for 10 miles through snow. Like, I don't want to exaggerate, but like it's up to your waist lots, not all the time, but like it is not fun. Anyway, so we the third day, last day we're hunting, we end up kind of seeing, there's a snow, and so we see this spot where these elk have been hitting this corn, and we have permission on this spot, and so we follow them in. Well, we end up seeing, thankfully, like just a couple of elk from maybe a kilometer away, like maybe 3/4 of a mile away.
Okay.
And just crest the hill. Like, it's tricky because you got like, when there's 150 elk, you got like 300 eyes and 300 noses like watching for you and smelling for you, right? And this is like the 4th season that they've been hunted. So like they are like spooked, right?
On edge.
Oh my goodness. So anyway, so we kind of like try to predict where they're going to go. And just begin hiking. So over the next like 3 hours, we end up catching a glimpse of them, thankfully before they see us, 3 different times, right? And so we're trying to just kind of like walk with them, not close until they bed, right? Like, so what we want to do is try and get on their bed when we find them. Well, thankfully, like, and kind of luck too, right? Like, man, like, I don't know if you're a praying man. Ever since I started hunting, I've started praying. Like,
I always say I'd rather be lucky than good, and I think that's kind of in the same category.
Yeah,
I'd always rather be lucky than good.
We say that too. It's better to be good than bad. It's better to be lucky than good. And it's better to be blessed than lucky. That's what we say.
Yeah, I believe it.
Anyway, so as we move towards where these elk are, thankfully the 4th time we just spot a face, an elk nose, and they're kind of like bedded in this hill, in this ravine, and it's probably elevation maybe like 130 feet high, in a bowl. And so the wind is blowing. How's it work? The wind blows over them so they can smell in the bush and what's over the hill behind them. They can then see what's in the valley, right? The bowl in front of them, right? And so we kind of know where they are. So Richard decides to kind of walk around this like hill. But the risk is if he goes too far, he will wind them all and they'll blow out the front, right? Okay. And so he decides to kind of go. And so we're trying to time it. And my part is I'm going to come around the front of this bowl, and I am literally like belly crawling through this snow, trying to get so I can just see the very first elk, and I will shoot at her. And then all those elk will run into the wind, because that's how elk they'll move into the wind, right?
Yeah.
So like he ends up going his way around, and I end up like belly crawling. So after about 15 minutes, like we kind of have no idea, but it just so happens I see the first elk, and I actually, to get into position, I actually see two of them, right? So I have no idea how many there are. I just know like I see one's a calf and one's a cow. And so I pick this cow, and like, I'm not a great shot. It's about 100. I told the story. It was like 350 in the past, but we actually went back to that spot, walked it out. It was only about 175, 180, but it felt far. Like I was cold and I just walked. Anyway, so I end up like getting on her, and I'm like, I don't know where Richard's at. Like, if I wait anymore and they wind him, like smell him, they're going to get up and this is all over. But if I don't wait long enough, they're going to rip over that hill, and they're going to be gone in front of him, and he won't get a chance. Right?
Yeah.
So I just like, I'm not going to risk it. It's been like 15 minutes. I'm on it. And so I shoot. Boom. And as I shoot, boom, just thunder. Like you can just hear this. There, like, I didn't know, but there were 150 elk in that herd.
Yeah,
right?
I bet that was amazing.
And they just start ripping up this hill, right? So I'm watching this cow. That's the only one I can see, and this other calf. I can see I hit her. She stands, wobbles, kind of goes up this hill, wobbles, and then kind of disappears. So I'm like, I know, like, shot felt good. Like, I think, like, I am so pumped. And, like, literally, like, that takes about 7 seconds. Well, after about, like, right as I see that, I just start hearing gunfire. Boom, 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 boom. And I know Richard's got 5 bullets, right? Like, he's got a clip of 4 and he's got 1 in the chamber. And then there's about a 8-second delay. And then I start hearing them again. Boom, boom. Now we've got 4 tags, right? Like 4 tags. So, and then it's silent, right? I'm like, there was about 7 shots.
Yeah.
So,
gosh, thinking about how far in you are and with all the snow, it's like I wouldn't want to kill 4 elk. I'd be happy with 1.
We haven't thought that.
Going.
We haven't thought that through. Yeah. We'll get there. So I come up, and I am so thankful. Like, my elk is like didn't even fall over. She's dead, leaning up against the tree. I thought she was still alive. I almost shot her. Anyway. Beautiful.
She, like, on her feet?
Yeah, on her, like, she was on her knees and slouched.
Okay, on her knees. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, like that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you could tell that she was dead because her head was down. But when I first saw her, I was like, oh, man, is she going to get... But no, she was dead. Anyways, but as I come over the hill, right, it's about another 100 yards. I begin to, like, make out, and I can see Richard. And he's just standing there with his arms slouched. His face is still, like, flush.
Yeah.
And like, he just starts walking towards me. And he's like, Dwayne, I just about died. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? It's like,
Yeah, it turns out his rounds were self-defense and not hunting.
It's like, dude, I rounded that bush, and when I heard your shot, all I could hear was this forest in front of me exploding. And then elk started running at me. He's like, I just started shooting into the trees. Like, I thought they were going to kill me. And he said, this herd of elk came, and they just materialized out of this bush, right? And he was in the middle of them. And he said they just started, like forming, splitting around him. And as he knows he didn't hit on his first two shots because he was just like panicked. And then as the elk started getting by him, like, of course, when he started firing, they hit that next level. Like, if you've ever heard an elk run, like, they move, right? Like,
yeah.
And so thankfully he had enough time to turn around and shoot going out. And so he hit one, she went down, and then he missed, and then he hit another one, and we didn't know actually if he had hit her. Then he reloaded, and then I think he had shot once or twice more, but by that point, like, they were gone. And so here we are so stoked. We have, like, he literally was afraid for his life. Like, he took him 10 minutes.
I believe it.
He thought he was going to die. I mean, it took him 10 minutes to like calm his heart and recover. Anyway, so then I tell him, I got one. Like, he's like, oh, that's so good. You got one. Like, we can see it. Oh, that's so cool. And then we kind of follow. And sure enough, he got another one that had just, like, piled up. They do crazy stuff. Elk are tough, man. They are tough.
They are.
And so she had piled up, and we didn't find any other traces of blood. We followed them for a while, and but we had 3 cows down. And so
that's crazy.
And so I won't spend too much time, but Richard calls Caleb, his son, and he's like, Caleb, you got to come here as a pin. So we're in this Moose Mountain Park, and we're about like 4 miles deep. But if you know Saskatchewan, you know that this is an area where there are oil wells.
Okay.
And there is a derrick right next to where these elk. And so Caleb managed it. It was so beautiful, man. That's why I'm saying you gotta, if you're a hunter, you gotta learn to pray, man, because that stuff helps.
Yeah. That's funny. So he basically drove up and got the elk out of there, huh?
Drove right. I mean, it took him a while to get on these like rig roads or whatever, but yeah, like drove right like within 200 yards where we were, and then we had a quad, and we had him field dressed as he arrived. And man, that was such a cool, like 3 elk all lined up in the back of a truck. It was just awesome.
That's a crazy story. You guys leave some for everybody else. You only kill them in like dozens. You got 6 whitetail. You got 4 elk the one trip with Boston. You got 3 on that one. That is crazy, Dwayne.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are some really fun stories. And you say that Boston's the storyteller, but I think you have a knack for it too. I think that whatever storytelling ability he has came from you, because these were a lot of fun. You had me laughing today.
Cool. And you know what? Like, when we live adventure, man, like when you get out there, stories write themselves. You just gotta, you just gotta get out there, take the risks. And I mean, that's what it's all about. Even working, tie it back into Africa. Like, that's what we've really discovered, that like the way you tell a young man or a young lady is like ready, is growing up, is they begin to like provide for themselves. They begin to have adventures. They begin to think their own thoughts, and that's the beauty of like validation and initiation. And as we, and I know you got kids, and as our kids grow, it's like, there's actually a proverb. It's really cool. It says, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they're old, they won't depart. And so there's something really cool about that. A lot of religious people will use that to indoctrinate kids. That's not what that's about at all. It really is saying our kids have a bent. They have things they love, things they were made for. And that's why Tacoa's a cowboy, Seth's a musician. You know, that's why Boston is a pilot, right? Like,
yeah.
And that's why I said in the beginning, like, man, I just try and stay out of the way. Like, we encourage, we support as best we can. But, and that's why hunting, you know, it's not just hunting. It actually is like validation, and it provides the confidence to be able to do like shit like Boston's do. Like, he's actually on his cross country today. It's like his 6-hour flight. He's going to write his commercial pilot's license. Dude's 18. He's going to have a commercial pilot's license. I'm like, man,
that's so cool.
I wish I had the size of balls he's got. You know, he went from having thinking his dick was too small. Now, like, we got to remind him, dude.
Yeah, leave some for the rest of us, brother. You can't have all of it.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's too good, Dwayne. That's amazing, man.
Okay, well, man. That's all I got.
I'm going to have you back on. I know you said you've got a lot more archery stories to tell. We're going to have you back for sure. Maybe we can get you and Boston on here in a year or so. That would be fun. So, Dwayne, do you have any socials or anything you want to share with the folks? Or are you just going to walk off into the Saskatchewan sunset?
Just walking off into the Saskatchewan sunset, my man. Thanks.
There we go.
Appreciate you, Michael.
Man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Dwayne, and I can't wait to have you back on, brother.
Okay. Take care.
Thank you. All right, guys. That's it. Another couple stories in the books. I want to thank Dwayne again for, 1, reaching out, 2, letting Boston come on a few months ago, and then, of course, sharing his stories with us. I really did enjoy this episode. It was really fun. Had a great time with Dwayne, and I hope to have him back on here again in the future. For you listeners, thank you guys again for tuning in. If you have a story, reach out to me. Check the show notes. There's a link right in there. I'm making it easy for you. Other than that, share the podcast with one person. Go ahead and give us a review. I'm looking for a few more reviews. I know plenty of people are listening. If you haven't reviewed, I would very much appreciate that. And then finally, I am doing a giveaway here shortly. I will put the link to that in the show notes when I get it. It'll probably be within the next 1 to 2 weeks. So keep listening, guys. It's going to start showing up here soon. I think we got a couple $1,000s worth of gear to give away. So thank you all so much. Now get out there and make some stories of your own.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. With real Coca-Cola taste and zero sugar. Listen closely. Hear those bubbles? That's the sound of delicious real Coca-Cola taste and zero sugar. Ice cold. Ah. Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coca-Cola taste. Zero sugar.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.